Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at The Ones Who Live, episode 4, the Walking Dead spin-off featuring Rick and Michonne. Things start up where they left off in the last episode, where Michonne dragged Rick out of the helicopter into the water, and at the beginning of this episode that's exactly what happens here, and they survive obviously, and they get into this high-tech apartment where it's all abandoned. If you're used to your Walking Dead episodes being really slow and just more about the dialogue, then this might be the episode for you, because there is a lot of dialogue in this one between Rick and Michonne about what they want to do next, as they've just escaped basically this CRM group. Rick keeps on telling Michonne that he needs to get back. Why did you do this to me? I need to get back there so I can protect you. And as they're debating as to why Rick needs to go back and why Michonne wants him to come with her, they notice that the helicopter that they were in has actually crashed into a building. So therefore they could essentially just get away now, because the CRM would think both of them died in the helicopter crash. The CRM even come to the helicopter crash and blow the thing up, because Rick says that the CRM leave nothing as it is because they don't want anybody to know that they exist. So because of that, they are essentially free. Rick now has no excuse to go with Michonne now. He doesn't need to go back to the CRM because they all think he's dead. He's obviously got an inkling in his mind that maybe Jadis will think he's still alive, even though that this wasn't the plan. The plan wasn't to blow up the helicopter, but he has got a chance to escape now because they're gone. Because of all of this, Michonne does let him know eventually that he has a son. He's got RJ. So now he's not only just got Judith to think about, he's got RJ to think about now. He can get back and eventually see his son, but he still decides he doesn't want to go. He still wants to go back to the CRM, and even though they thought he was dead, he can go back there and say, I'm still alive and I'm going to be looking out for Michonne from the inside out. And Michonne's like, I just don't quite understand this. So there's a lot of back and forth as to what they're trying to do next. Michonne ends up falling out with Rick, and then she goes away and hoping that he would go after her. And yes, he does go after her as the building's about to start falling down. And this is where we do get a little bit of zombie action for the first time in this show. On the 4th episode, we have had a few zombies, of course, but none to the extent that we got here, because they were in danger for a change with the zombies. But it is quite quick. They've got a few cool scenes where they're trying to get away from the walkers, the zombies, and they end up back in the apartment that they began at. After they get back to the apartment again, when they're safe and sound from the zombies, they get jiggy, of course, and they make up. But then he still has this thing where he's like, I still need to go back to the CRM. And Michonne's just like, well, what is it you're looking to do? Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you doing this to us? And then he mentions that he's thinking about Carl, and he's no longer being able to picture Carl, and he pictures Michonne, and he's starting not to picture Michonne. And as he's thinking about all these nice things, he does say to Michonne, and I kind of get his point, where he would rather not be with them and think that they're alive rather than be with them and see them die. So I can see Rick's point, but she's saying, well, why don't you just live in the now, be with us, and we'll enjoy the life that we have together rather than live it apart and hope that we're living. So I can see both the points in this one, but it just took a long time for the episode to get to that point. Rick eventually comes to his senses and he decides, let's do it. Let's get away, get back to Alexandria, to RJ and Judith, just before the building starts to crumble down. So that's good timing. And also good timing is they go outside and they find a hybrid car with, I think it's gas or some sort of type of gas in the back that will get them to where they need to be until they get to Alexandria. Again, this episode does feel all filler and no killer, unfortunately. Yes, there are a few touching moments between Rick and Michonne. We get to peel back the onion as to what Rick is thinking, why he's doing what he's doing, and some really good acting moments between both of them as well. And this is the one thing I do like about the show, is it does focus on Rick and Michonne. There's no back and forth with other characters that we didn't really like from The Walking Dead. It's purely Rick and Michonne. So if you're a Rick and Michonne fan, you probably like this episode. And I am a Rick and Michonne fan, especially Rick, and some of the moments that Rick has are really good, but it's still one of these episodes that just feels like nothing happens. They start at A and the end at A. I also think the dialogue between Rick and Michonne, not just in this episode, but so far in the show, is very pretentious. They always big each other up, saying, oh, you're the best. No, you're the best. Together we can rule the world. And they're being serious to each other as well. So I think the dialogue between them is very pretentious. It wasn't always like that to begin with in The Walking Dead, but as the series progressed in The Walking Dead, they got more and more pretentious, and that's just carried over into this one. They can go from place to place wherever they want, and it doesn't matter because the two of them together will rule victorious. I just feel like, where is the modesty between Rick and Michonne? If we see a bit of modesty, maybe we can get behind them a little bit more. Overall though, guys, I'm still questioning this show as to whether I like it or not. For a character study and a character piece, it's good. But for a show that's supposed to be a zombie show, and at the end of the day, it is a zombie show, we don't get a lot of that. It's just a lot of dialogue, pretentious dialogue between two characters that we're supposed to get behind. But so far, 4 episodes in, it still feels like all filler, no killer. So what are your thoughts on this episode, guys? Do you like that character study, or do you want a bit more action? And not even just action is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some sort of story development, because we're in one place at a time and nothing really happens. But anyway, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back!